guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make these shutter windows with the dies that were released recently on Create and Craft by Stamps by Me. So grab a cuppa, watch it through first, and then have a go if you fancy. So for this project we're going to use the recently released Send in Love, and this is a diamond stitching collection. And then I've pulled out some older dies. This one's from the Tied with a Bow collection, Builder Background 4. These are really pretty dies and quite large as well. And I've dug out the Builder Flower 2. So in the die set you get these 5 dies. So you want to cut one of the outside die, and you want to get rid of the 2 inner ones, and these 2 then you need to just add some tape so they are stuck together with an equal gap around the inside, and then you need to cut out 3 of those so that they will make our window. So what you need to do then is poke all your holes out of these and have them in front of you. So with this one you need to cut off 2 edges, one of the short edges and one of the long edges. So just like that, so you're just cutting off a very thin strip with the decorative pattern. And then you want to turn your die cut over, measure this in the centre, and you just need to snip off, it's about 1 inch, so just snip that bit off, and then add a tiny bit of glue to the ends. And pop that in place, making sure they don't go over the diamonds at the top and the bottom. And then the same for the smaller section, you're going to put that in the centre, adding a little bit of glue to one end, just trim it off just before it hits the diamond. Pop a little bit of glue on that end, like so. There we go. So that's the main window. So we'll pop that aside for now. And then we have 2 of these. So you get these cut out of the centre, keep them, and you need to cut them into 1/8 strips. So you only need to cut 1, but cut them down until you've got a load of 1/8 strips. So put them in your trimmer, landscape, and then trim like that. And we'll keep them now, you'll need them now in a minute. So if I just zoom in, on this die, you can see it's got your diamond patterns, and then it's got 2 dots. So what you're going to do is you're going to trim on that second dot, like so. Then you're going to add a little bit of glue to the ends. So I'm just putting some, just open that. So, and then you're going to overlay this side, so the diamonds are matching. So just make sure the diamonds overlap and they're matching, like so. And then what you want to do is just cut that, give that a mitre cut on both sides, like that. So that gives us our frame for the window. So you just need to add then a little bit more glue on that bit, and hold it down in place until it's stuck. So that's one, so I'll just do that again for the other window. So I'll just zoom in again so you can see where I'm talking about. So as you can see, it's got 2 dots there, so you're just going to snip off on the dot closest to the centre. There you go. So you're going to snip off there on the closest to the centre. Okay. Make sure all your bits are out. I thought I got all them. Right. So again, just put some glue on the edge. Take the bit with the longer strips, overlap those diamonds, top and bottom, to give us our window shutters. And then just use a scissors just to cut from corner to corner. It gives you that nice mitered edge. So there are our 2 shutters. So with the bit that we've just trimmed off the top and the sides that we used for the inner of the window, we're going to use that with our 1/8 strips, and we're just going to glue our 1/8 strips onto it. So we're just using up some of the waste from the dies. So you're just literally using a bit of glue. It doesn't matter if the glue seeps out for now. So you end up with this. So you can see all my 1/8 strips. I've left a gap in between, and here for our shutters. So our windows now will fit like so on top. So we're just going to trim this down. So I'm just going to pop that right in the trimmer there. Okay, so we've got this. So now I'm just going to mark with a pencil how big this needs to be. So I don't want it covering my diamonds, so you just got to make it a tad smaller than that, but still leave enough room for your glue. So I'm just going to use a pencil, and I'm going to just pop a mark there and trim that. So like so, and then I'm just going to make sure that'll fit. Yep. And then I'm just going to do the same with the length. I'm just going to place it there and see where my diamond goes to, and it's about on that one there. So there's no measurement for this, it's just use your pencil and your eye. And then I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue around the edges. And then I'm going to stick the frame on the top. So that's one shutter. Just hold that for a minute, let the glue set. So I'll just pop that aside. And my shutters aren't very straight, but that just adds to the charm of the window, I think. So I'm going to do the same here now. Pop that aside. So I'm just going to measure it. So that's about there. And I'm just going to lay that on the top, making sure that it's not going to cover my diamonds. Oh, they are. If you want to cut your card to size before you put your strips on, it's 1¼ inches by 5½. Here we go. So that's what this measures. So you need 2 of those if you're not going to do it all in one piece like I do. So again, I'm just going to put some glue around the edge. That's a bit much. I'll take some of that off. And then I'm just going to put the frame over the top. Like so, and I'm going to leave them to grab and dry. So then we need to bring back in our frame, and you need some narrow tape, double-sided tape for this, and I'm just going to put some down the centre. Like that, making sure it's on the reversed side. Do you know, it's so warm, I am having trouble with my tape. I don't know if anybody else is having trouble. There we go, and then a bit across the centre. And then I'm just going to put small bits in the corner. Of the windows. If you've got red liner tape, that would be better for this. I've run out, so I'm just using a bit of double-sided for the video. There you go. So take your backing off. And then you need a sheet of acetate, and your sheet of acetate needs to measure 7½ inches by 5¾ inches. So I'll just take this last piece off. There we go. Okay, so you need a piece of acetate. Yeah, 5¾ by 7½. Let me get rid of that bit of dust there. So you need to put this in the centre then. And try and make sure, see if it's straight. I've got a, there we go, that's that. And then if you've got a scoreboard to hand, mine's disappeared. Put a score line down the sides there of your window frame. Then take your shutters, and again double-sided tape. Down both panels. Just make sure I give them a good burnish so they stick. And then I'm going to put my mitre joints that I did on the inside, and I'm going to line up the diamonds, and then I'm just going to stick that in place there. And I'm going to do the same on this side I'm going to take my tape off. I'm making sure the miters are in the same, so they're on the inside, making sure my diamonds are matching in place. And I'm going to stick that there. So that's the start of our card. So now to make your 8x8 card, I've taken a sheet of 8x8 and a 9x8 and I've scored it at 1 inch and folded it over. So let's glue that together. Okay, I just need to trim that a minute. I don't think I cut it at the 8 on the other side. Let's just trim that. Okay, so that's our 8x8 card, and then what I've done is I've just used that inner die there just to cut a hole in the centre of the card. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a bit of card in there, and I'm going to use a brick stencil and my Stamps by Me blending brush with some walnut stain distress ink. And I'm just going to give the background of my card a bit of a brick effect, but not all of it because I'm going to rip the card now in a minute. So I'll just do this. So I'm just giving it a bit of a brick design. I'm not too worried if it's matching up. You don't have to use a brick, you could use anything you've got really. If you've got some nice ivy or something like that would be nice, so you could have ivy trailing. I'll just turn that round so you can see on the video better. So these blending brushes are lovely. I use them constantly. So this is just giving a little bit of interest to the back of the card, like so. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rip the card, so I'm just going to rip there and rip there, like so. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more distress ink to the top there. And to that bit. And then I'm just going to give it a bit of a curl with my finger. And then just run over that edge again with my ink. Ooh. Like so. So that's the base of our card. So I'm also going to add some ink to the windows to tie it all in. So this will just pick up on the raised areas. So it'll pick up more on the frame and the shuttering, and leave the back layer a bit lighter. So you can do, and the colour won't stick to the acetate either, so I'm just going to go right the way around my window. Just gives it a bit more of a vintage look. like so. I'm going to bring my card back in now, and I'm going to pop that there. So I'm just going to put some tape now on the back of the window, but only on the two edges it needs to be. So like that. Like I said, if you've got red liner tape, it would be a bit better. So I'm just going to make sure that's in place, like so. Got some little bits. So I didn't have my scoreboard to hand, so I'm just going to give that a bit of a fold there, like so. There we go. Better. And now I'm going to add some embellishments. So we're using a tied with a bow background, so that is these and these. So some I've inked with the walnut stain again, and some I've left a bit plain. So I'm going to trim that off there, because I want these going up, some of these up behind the shutter. So I'm just going to use some tacky glue. I might put that one there, then going up in front of the window. Just think about using your dies differently. It's quite nice just to have a play. So I've got some of the branches as well. Trim that one down a little bit, so I'll just put a little bit of glue on there, like so. If I trim that there, you don't get no waste. I'm just going to put them there like that. And then with the Build a Flower 2, I've just made this flower. So 2 of the large size, 3 of the medium, and 2 of the smaller. I might need a little bit of hot glue for this one, but we'll try it with the... And I'm just going to pop that there like so. That's better. And you can, and if you wanted to, you could always ink round the edge at the top of the card as well. So there you have the window. This is what people wanted to see, as it was on Create and Craft TV. I did a window, so just using the dies. So there it is. I love it if you have a go. Share it with us in the Stamps by Me Eureka fan page group on Facebook, and I'll see you again soon.